Welcome back, my friends. Yes, Mark the Movie Man here. It is the final cut, and it's another week, another horror film being wide released here in 2020. This one has been promoted for a while, and it's called Underwater, starring Kristen Stewart and brought to you by the director of The Signal. Kristen Stewart plays Nora, who's part of a deep-sea drilling team. In fact, the rig that they are on is 7 miles below the surface, where the pressure could instantly kill you. Well, they soon find out that there's something else that could almost instantly kill you, only this thing's got a heartbeat and a nasty disposition, and soon they find themselves on the run trying to escape these mean beastie creatures that want them dead. Underwater is not Alien Underwater. Okay, let's put it out there right now. This film is definitely not just a rehash of that story, and I liked that quite a bit. It let it do it a little bit in the trailer, but let me tell you, no, it's not that, okay? So it is your standard monster horror film, and there's nothing wrong with that. While they're not bringing much new to the table, what they do bring to the table is very suspenseful moments, which is what you want. A group of characters who we have seen before for the most part, but they are still charismatic and written well enough that you don't want to see anything nasty happen to them. But as my honorable son number one would say, if something does nasty happen to them, you haven't learned as much depth with them to really have that emotional impact. But still, you know, this is a good crew. This is our interesting characters that you really don't want to see nasty things happen to, which obviously it is a horror film, so that can't exactly be avoided. Now, Kristen Stewart, as you imagine, does fantastic in here as the Nora character, playing a very strong character, but also have some vulnerable moments, and how, you know, just reluctantly leading and being put in these situations. I loved her approach to this character, and her every time she's on screen. She's a very strong female character. Another strong female character in here is Emily, played by Jessica Henwick. Her and Kristen Stewart really get some great scenes together in this movie, and they are the ones that you're going to find yourself probably rooting for the most. TJ Miller shows up in here, but his character, I'm going to say right now, I wish he wasn't doing TJ Miller things, because it kind of took away from what they were going for and kind of broke the air a little bit too much with the suspense going on. They get claustrophobic in some scenes, even though they're in big scenes. It does get dark at times, so it's hard to see. I know some people have complained about that, but I liked that. I liked that unknown, because it puts you right there with the characters of them not being able to see exactly what's going on. And we all know unknown is far more scarier than known. And you know, visually, yeah, there are a couple scenes in there where it's a little hard to tell what's going on, but with the way it's directed and handled, you're still very full of tension in those moments, which is what you want. Particularly near the end, things get really intense as they ramp up, and we get to experience more and more of these mean beasties on the ocean floor, and I loved the finale of this film quite a bit. Outside of a little bit of a clunky dialogue at one section, overall, I really liked the whole third act of them trying to escape and get to the surface, and all of that was just, you're holding your breath the whole time. There's lots of action going on, some great special effects in here, especially in the design of the creatures. Loved the design of the creatures. Yes, you don't always get to see a lot of them, but what you do get to see, it was great. There's some have tentacles, and just, you know, their behavior as well really was freaking creepy, okay? So they create some really freaking creepy creatures in here, and some that a few of you, when you see it, you go, hey, that looks like, but I don't want to spoil too much for you for this film. It's an entertaining film. While, no, we aren't getting too much new here, it is still a fun, tension-filled horror film that I think you'll enjoy, and for me, I enjoyed it enough to give it 3.5 stubs. 3.5 stubs here. See it for a matinee or a $5 Tuesday at least, or if you weren't quite that interested, you could catch it on rental, but in the theater, you do get some of that great sound design as well of that experience that you would miss out necessarily at your home watching it on a small screen. So there you have it, folks. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please subscribe if you haven't already. Got a lot of great stuff coming up. Check out our Patreon. We got a lot of even more fantastic exclusive episodes there. Great content that you can get there for very little price. I thank you for your support, and as always, remember, keep that ticket stub.